Okay, here we go. Battler stood alone in the rose garden maze, letting the rain quietly fall on him. After searching for some time, Angie found him. Oni-chan. So, Angie, who was feeling guilty, sensed anger in her brother's expression. So I already had a talk about this with Simon, and we were like wondering or discussing what exactly it is she learned. Is it that her parents were the murderers after all? And that's why she rejected it? Because before she like fell or whatever, she screamed that it can't be right and Eva has to be the culprit, which would mean that Eva apparently is not the culprit, otherwise why would she say that? So does that mean that it was her parents after all? But then, would she really welcome that? So, well, the way she welcomed them just a while ago, wouldn't she have been like, what the fuck was wrong with you? I just saw the truth. Or did she just seal away the truth? But it seems the way she's talking, or was talking last time, seemed like she did remember the truth she learned. We'll see. Oh, thanks. Finally somebody reminding me the text is there. It happens all the time, every time, because the game is, yeah. I mostly just see the chat, but not the stream itself, so I always forget that the text is there. Okay, Angie, who was feeling guilty, sensed anger in her brother's expression, so she thought he was going to hit her. She shut her eyes. However, her brother touched her softly. He patted her head gently. Hey. The truth wasn't anything important, was it? No, it wasn't. Even though you were here, waiting for me to come home in such a warm world, I had my back turned the whole time. Yeah, well, it's something important for me, okay? So I hope I still get to learn it. You learned the truth. Yeah. So any hopes you had of someone miraculously surviving and coming back have been crushed. However, you now have a new mission, a hope for living in the future. You kept that precious hope safe for me. I was the one who opened the box and let it get away. It turned out worse than Pandora's box. A truth I didn't need to know flew out of the box, along with all my hopes, leaving nothing inside but empty space. That's okay. It's open now, and that's that. If it's empty inside, that means it won't fester. After all, false hopes can sometimes bring you pain. Battler laughed heartily. Then, with that same smile on his face, he told her, "We're already dead." Yeah. You've lived 12 years on the hope that we might still be alive. Not anymore. That's over and done with. Yeah, I know. Starting now, I'll step forward into a new life. I guess you could see this whole scene as her remembering who she is and remembering what she learned and making peace with everybody in her mind. Beato put Oroka and Jima in the cat box. The next witch, Aunt Eva, guarded the lid of that cat box her whole life. You, the witch after her, opened that lid, but so what? Why does the truth of the past matter? Yeah, from now on I'll truly live, and I'll make my own personal truth prosper. Good luck. Final Witch of Maria's Dossier. I've read Maria's Grimoire. It's a great book with some really good stuff written in it. Even the Bible needs a translator, so Maria's Grimoire probably needs one too. You'll be that translator. You've got to teach kids who are in the position you once were. That's your mission as the new witch of the future. Yeah. I'm gone, but I'll always be behind you, watching over you. I know. Not just you. Everyone else too. All of us will love you forever. Don't forget that. I won't forget. Ah, there he is. Time to celebrate. Cheers. Also, I wanted to wait for you, but, yeah, it was getting a bit late, so I thought I'd just start a bit already and summarize for you. So far, they've just been talking, Battler and Angie have been talking about the truth she learned, And he's confirmed that they're all dead. So my take on this is this whole scene is just her making peace with everyone in her mind after remembering who she is. All of us will love you forever, don't forget that. I won't forget, not ever, and that's for certain. I'm actually a bit sad now because I still wanted an ending to come where everybody actually somehow miraculously survives and I don't have to acknowledge that the entire Ushidomiya family that we got to know through 8 episodes now was actually all just, well, gone. But I guess that's how it is. Angie leapt into Bella's chest and sobbed. Humans are sad creatures who can learn, but not unlearn. She had already learned. It may have been a cruel, terrifying, merciless thing, capable of destroying even the miracle called hope. However, there was still one tiny fragment left gripped in her hand. Her family's love. If she can just remember that and hold it tight, then surely Angie will live on. She'll be able to stop before taking that single step into nothingness. Also, the Rokkanjima cat box hasn't been opened completely. You've just taken a peek at what's inside, so you must be the lid yourself. And this time you protect everyone inside the cat box. Me and Dad and Kiryu-san, the cousins and the uncles and the aunts, grandfather and the servants, and all of the illusions. Yeah, this time I have to protect everyone. Then shouldn't you hurry up a bit? Oh, then shouldn't you hurry up a bit? The sound of popcorn being eaten rang out from beyond a rose bush. It was Lambda Delta. I think you know this already, but Bairn is just about to hold a big party for the Book of the Single Truth. She's gathered beings from heaven and from hell, from the spirit world and from parallel worlds. If she announces what's in that book in a place like that, it'll all be too late, won't it? I'm going. I gave Berncastle that key. It's my responsibility. I'll go and take it back. The City of Books, huh? But there's no way for us to get in. There's a barrier around that place. She gave me this. With it I can come and go as I please. What an idiot. She forgot to collect it when she threw me away. Angie fished through her pocket and there was a jingling sound. It was a bell with a blue ribbon tied to it. That's it. One of those temporary entry passes that you get when you turn in your invitation. As long as you have that, at least one of you will be able to get into the City of Books. Well, as long as someone takes you across the Sea of Fragments first. Lambda Delta, take me to the City of Books. Angie. This is my way of taking responsibility. I'll see to it that the Book of the Single Truth isn't made public. Yeah, but could it at least be made public to us? Are you serious? That place is a den of monsters among monsters. Now that you've lost Baron's protection, you'll be weaker than a fly. Squish, the end. The bell was snatched from Angie's hands. Lambda Delta, I'll go. I just need you to get me in there. After all, I'm an empty creature, unable to exist outside the cat box. Angie, on the other hand, must live on into the future. And you're a person with a future too, so I'll go. I have nothing to lose. No, this is my responsibility, my way of making up for what I did. If I don't do it myself, the future won't change at all, and I won't be able to save any future cat boxes. Angie tried to snatch the key from Bella's hand, but Bella had no intention of giving it up. The two of them were grimly serious, but from the sidelines it looked like an ordinary squabble between two close siblings. Lambda Delta watched this conversation and shrugged. If she just took one of them to the City of Books, she wouldn't have to make any enemies, and there was no risk to her. All she cared about was which one would make the story more interesting. Nothing else. But then she finally noticed. Hold on. Hold on a sec, you two. Hold on. What's your problem? Save it for later. We're having an important sibling discussion here. Okay, first off, let go of each other's hands. Bella's holding the bell now, right? Jump, Bella. Jump? Like this? Jingle, jingle. You next, Angie. Try jumping. Why the hell should I... Huh? Why? If Bella was holding the bell, where did that sound come from? Angie hurriedly searched through her pockets. When she did, another blue ribbon bell came out of a different pocket than the first one. These are the same, aren't they? No way. Why are there two? I was only given one of them. I don't know why. At any rate, you've got two bells that'll get you into the City of Books. Now I don't have to sit here and watch the two of you play around with each other anymore. You could have probably phrased that a bit less ambiguous. The pair of them gripped their bells and looked at each other. From the very beginning, this game has belonged to the two of you. There's just been a slight change in who the opponent is. This isn't a competition between you two. It's a fight between Battler and Angie, who want to close the lid on the cat box, and Burn, who wants it opened. Angie has moved from Burn's team to Battler's team. That's all there is to it. Nadetta, take us to the City of Books. Okay, I'm just taking you there, got it? After that, I'm done being anything but a spectator. I just want to have the best seats, to see exactly how you fight, what you do, and how Baron makes mincemeat out of you all. Nadetta, thanks. And we still have the ships there. Hi, Aaron. Shannon and Kanon stood guard in front of the door to the Golden Land. They glared quietly and fearlessly at the eerie fleet of ships across the horizon. Shannon slowly lifted her hands. Kanon raised his right hand, and a red blade appeared there. Stop right there. I forbid you to come any closer. If you do, I'll kill you. They could see a single What is that? Dinghy? Leaving the fleet and approaching them. They couldn't tell if it was a messenger or the first wave. Shannon and Kanon watched it cautiously. Why do you have that hat? At the head of that dinghy, rowed by goats, stood Erica. Is it called dinghy or dingy or whatever? I'm just gonna call it a thingy. Where the heck did she get that thing from? Maybe she's trying to act the part of the fleet's leader. Erica was glaring at them and smiling aggressively with what appeared to be a pirate hat on her head. I've come to deliver our terms. There will be room for negotiation. Please open the gate. Shannon and Kanon looked at each other. Erica was the one offering this deal. It wasn't likely to be anything agreeable. However, if they turned her away, the attack would probably begin at once. Since they were in a firmly inferior position, they wanted to buy time by any means they could. At Shannon's nod, Kanon raised his sword. The Golden Land was filled with a hard downpour, accompanied by occasional thunder. Erica, who realized that this weather spoke for their emotions, smiled even more boldly. At the center of the Golden Land was the arbor surrounded by the Gold Rose Guard. A large number of humans and illusions were there, arguing about something. Even without asking, it was easy to guess the nature of the debate by their anguished expressions. After all, in this life or death situation, they didn't have many options they could take. In the direction Erica was being led, Beato stood waiting, accompanied by the Chester Sisters court. When Erica, accompanied by her goat guards, saw Beato, she gave a bow that only appeared graceful. Beato followed suit and gave a graceful bow of the sort that was rarely seen from her. I am Beatrice, master of the Golden Land and the Golden Endless Witch. Announce yourself. As though implying that she was more than happy to go through with this farce, Beato introduced herself boldly and requested that Erica do the same. We have been dispatched from the Great Witch of theater-going, drama and spectating's noble city of carefully selected books. I am the Witch of Truth, the commander of the library fleet, which is committed to bestowing honor and protection to books. My name is Fudo Erica. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Shall we get down to business? You are to celebrate. We of the library fleet is dedicated to offering honor and protection to books have come to bring good news to you all. First, I would like to announce that after careful selection, the City of Books has acknowledged and accepted the game board created by the Endless Witch Beatrice as a great and honorable book. Oh, that is indeed a great honor. That game board is a profoundly entertaining and original masterpiece, worthy of close study. It deserves to be released for all of our subjects to read. And so the City of Books has ordered us to grant eternal honor and protection to this game board. This is all quite long and boring. Get to the point. We demand that you hand the entirety of this game board over to the Honorable City of Books. Doing so will give this board and its pieces the greatest honor and protection imaginable. And if we refuse, you will be prosecuted for the crime of monopolizing a great cultural artifact that ought to be shared among all of our subjects. We are here to notify you of the impending assault one which will be waged by us to protect the benefits that are the rightful property of all subjects, not yours alone. Are you not concerned that the shared property of all subjects might be destroyed in this assault of yours? According to the Great Library Protective Regulations, when a criminal guilty of monopolization of a cultural artifact raises that objection as you have now done, the executive fleet may prioritize arrest over its protective duties as long as they obtain permission from the Great Court. Of course, we have already obtained the Great Court's written authorization. I imagine the word arrest is closely followed by dead or alive, am I right? My. I'm impressed that you can read those tiny letters. Now enough fooling around. Let's hear your answer. What do we have to gain by accepting your conditions? Both of us will be saved a troublesome task. Furthermore, your brave and noble acts will be recorded as a glorious final chapter in the city's books. You do understand, right? You have no chance of winning. This isn't even a fight. It's just you sitting there at the bottom of a well while people throw stones at you. So you claim that I have the power to choose nothing except the Hollow Library, which will record my final moments. The rest depends on you. If you treasure this game board, you ought to surrender. The pieces will be treasured by our many loyal subjects for all time, and will be able to continue their roles on into eternity. In other words, the tragedy I created at will shall repeat forevermore. How is that any different from what you've been doing so far? It isn't. Is there anything else? If not, allow me to give you my answer. Go ahead. Fuck off! No. Probably something about along those lines. Erica tensed slightly. After all, this was the great Lady Beatrice she was dealing with. She might shout, "Here's my answer," dramatically and do something crazy. They say a corner rat is the most likely to bite a cat. Furthermore, Erica had intel telling her that the great Lady Lamna Delta, Witch of the Senate, had been spending her time inside the Golden Land, though only as a theater-goer. Erica needed to carry out this noble task that her master had assigned her, and she had to carry it out perfectly. If she was honest, she wanted to make Beato raise a white flag, even by trickery if necessary. So even though this was a farce, she held back from giving any unneeded provocation. That must be tough for her. She gulped and tried to size Beato up. And then, with a pathetic expression on her face, Beato let out a sigh. I'll be honest. The truth is, I am tired. What do you mean by that? My game had already achieved its purpose when my fight with Batlor ended, and yet for various reasons the game has repeated several times since then. To be perfectly honest, I am tired of it. To be honest, that isn't the answer I was expecting at all, so you want to surrender? Really? Simply put, I don't care either way. It doesn't matter whether I surrender or whether we're vanquished by you. I simply wish to have the curtain closed on this game board and tale, regardless of who does the deed. Of course, that was a lie. She knew she couldn't win even if she fought. For now, their best option was to play for time. They would fix Erica's attention to the spot, and during that time, Betla and the others would steal the key from Bernkastel while she was completely off her guard. Once they had the key, they would return to the Golden Land, use that key to let Angie open the door to the future, and see her off. That was their goal line. Everything that happened after that would be inside the cat box. Angie would live on into the future with hope. No one would know whether Beato and the others were alive or dead. That was enough. The only strategy Beato and the others could use to achieve this was to buy time. If you do surrender, it may be a bit of an anticlimax, but it will save me a lot of trouble. But, well, it is not quite so simple. You see, and this is just between you and me, as you may know, the great Lady Lamna Delta is staying here. She is, pushing us to show her a dramatic climax. That's a pretty cruel whim to force on someone. How are a few wimpy people in what's basically an already solved puzzle supposed to fight against our fleet with its hundreds of thousands of troops? Very true, very true. The gap in strength is overwhelming. We told her that it wouldn't even be a fight, but, well, Lady Lamna Delta didn't listen and just said she would bring some of her friends to support us, so we should fight with everything we had. Lady Lamna Delta's friends? Unlike Bernkastel, who kept to herself, Lamna Delta had many friends. Her friends and patrons were either territory lords of great influence who came from all over the place, or else monsters that had become legends in their own lifetimes. In all seriousness, her so-called fan club had enough size and influence that it could have suddenly declared itself a separate country in the Sea of Fragments without anyone being overly surprised. Whenever I hear that sound, I expected at the end. It was weird that it wasn't coming. Didn't come. This is quite a problem for us, with Lady Lambda Delta all ready for action. Without any regard for us, she keeps calling up friends and acquaintances on the phone from all over the place, telling them to come over. Of course, this was all a lie. Lambda Delta had turned into a small candy comet, and was now shooting towards the city of books with Battler and Angie in tow. Yeah, friends and patrons. So to make sure that Lambda Delta's and Battler's absences were not noticed, everyone was crowded around the arbor, pretending to argue furiously with each other. Battler, somebody give us your decision. We, the Seven Sisters of Purgatory, are prepared for death at any time.
I firmly oppose taking a last stand that will lead to our death. What could possibly be gained by dying?
Well, death for one, for a start. How can you be such a coward? It is inconceivable that we should live.
Oh
my God, sorry. On in shame as prisoners. There are times when the mere fact of being alive gives one opportunities. Yes, indeed, as short temper makes a bad leader.
Well, if you call yourself a man, now is the time to act like one. The great Lambda Delta Semi is even willing to help out, right? I agree. These are the times when a man has to make a tough decision.
In many cases, the timing of a decision is more valuable than the decision itself. Is it?
If we surrender, they might not be violent with you.
You can't be serious. Weren't you supposed to be a male lion? Where are your fangs now? If death awaits us regardless, I would rather die as a wolf than a pig. Are you stupid? Are you saying you want to die like a dog?
It all depends on the strength and the support Lambda Delta Sun can provide.
Lambda Delta Sun, are your friends really strong enough to win against them? It's a bet. We'll either surrender and die, or we'll lose a bet and die. Oh, so you'll either die, or you will die. So, that's cool. Not sure which one to choose. Interesting. In that case, our chances for survival must be higher if we take that bet. Okay, now I see. An honorable surrender will surely cause the Great Court to show mercy. They're backed by the Senate, aren't they? Sure, they'll hem and haw, but we'll all see the guillotine in the end. Anyway, let's calm down. Cool your heads. I'm opposed to letting our emotions control us. Why don't you calm down first? We have another possible strategy, mutually assured destruction. We might not be able to win, but if we can convince them that we plan on taking enough of them with us, that might force our opponents to show restraint. So basically, if they're determined to attack, we'll let them know we aren't going down without doing some damage first. All of Lambda Delta's friends are incredible. She knows lots and lots of witches, beasts, demons, and gods, all of which have really, really huge legends and histories. Even though ships outnumber the stars in the sky, Lambda Delta's friends would wipe them out with a single blast.
Will this really work? She hasn't seen through our act yet, has she? It is working. You must speak more forcefully as well. Do not worry about politeness. Enough, you gutless swine. Do you like the backbone to finish with a bang? Oh, hold on! Don't forget that some of us are opposed to fighting. I think we should surrender.
That's a loud noises. I think they're coming from below. Probably.
Go down, you loser loving fool! Ouch, master, it's just an egg.
Well, it looks like the debate has gotten quite heated. So, will we surrender or will we fight back? Which will it be? Nobody knows. Personally speaking, I would like to surrender. If my role will end either way, I would prefer that my game board be preserved the way I made it. I could not bear to have the Lady Lambda Delta continue to use it however she pleases. We don't want that either. I came here to fight you, but I'm no match for Lady Lambda Delta's friends. Secretly, Erika was getting worried by these complicated developments, and she was relieved that she hadn't pushed too hard early on. She wanted to flatter Beato and Endless was a bold, bloodless takeover. Even the great Lady Lambda Delta probably wouldn't seriously think of picking a fight with the Senate. Her motive was probably something much more trivial, a simple desire to watch the game board's final fireworks from a front row seat. However, if she really did have some fireworks of her own prepared, it was at least possible that this could turn to a ruckus that Erika would have no chance of quelling. Beatrice saw all that was going on in Erica's mind, so she continued to act with an even more pathetic expression on her face. Even among witches, her acting ability was top-notch. Might you be willing to lend us some of your strength, so that my game board's beauty will be preserved? Surely it was a great error to invite that busybody as a guest. I understand. I'd like to end this quietly too if I can. So how can we work together? For some time now we have been arguing over whether we should surrender or resist. I intend to return to them and propose that we surrender and ask Lady Lambda Delta not to do anything that might destroy the game board. That would please me very much, so what should I do? I would like to guarantee that we have the necessary time to debate the matter. After all, your ships are surrounding and pressuring us at the moment. Everyone is so tense at the thought that we may be attacked at any time that they're falling apart. So if you guarantee that we will have enough time to discuss this amongst ourselves, everyone will surely be able to keep their composure during that time. Furthermore, I will have enough time to convince Lady Lambda Delta. Very well. About how long do you need? Would you be gracious and avoid giving a specific time limit? If a time limit is imposed, everyone will just fall apart again, as the limit nears, possibly leading to more radical decision. You have a point there. The most important thing about a fuse is whether it's lit or not. The length of the fuse is a trivial matter. In that case, will you give us the time we need? Understood. I guarantee that you'll have time to discuss it. However, the time won't be unlimited. I'll wait here and listen in on your discussion. Uh-oh. Well, as far as that goes, it is true that your mere presence here has everyone on edge. I've already made my concessions. Isn't it your turn now? They were some distance away from the arbor, but it was just close enough to give a general idea of what was going on. It was far enough that they just might be able to hide the fact that Bella and Lambda Delta were missing. Just far enough for them to convincingly act like this was a white-hot argument in gridlock. If it were possible, they would rather have kept Erica at an even greater distance. They had planned to set up a seat of honor for their guests at one of the far corners of the garden maze. Is there some sort of problem? Okay. Don't make such a scary face. In that case, please wait here. This is a confidential conference, so you must, come no closer than this line. Beato drew a line in the ground with her foot. Help them see me in a good light. If it's clear that I have obtained a generous agreement from you, that will be a powerful weapon in my hands in the debate. Could I get a chair? Yes, of course. Chester Troops, bring Lady Erica a chair and an umbrella at once. And a hand towel, too. I'll wipe it nice and clean for you. Can't believe she's falling for that. But who knows for how long.
Milady, have there been any developments in our negotiations?
If anything's certain, it's that I'll be winning this year's prize for Best Actress. That's our Beatrice-sama.
All we can do is argue fiercely, squabble amongst ourselves, and make it look like things will turn for the worse if negotiations break down.
Indeed, this is yet another fight to support Bella's group. Get yourself ready, everyone. Let's argue and insult with all we have. Got it?
Yes, master.
The sight of Goda, his cheek red and swollen from being pinched, made everyone snort, but they quickly covered their mouth and put fingers to their lips. Then everyone nodded at each other, and the fake argument resumed. My nose is itching again. Erica was sitting in the chair that the Chester sisters had brought her, filling a goat in on the details of the discussions. The goats would probably return and tell the rest of the fleet. The fleet would tell Bernkastel, and Bernkastel might think of some plan to deal with the situation or give new orders. Why do the goats actually have the one-winged eagle on their cloth? The conversation with the goat ended and it spun around. It would return to the dinghy and report on this fleet. It slipped out from a rosebush and passed through the garden maze, heading towards the door that led outside. Is it really okay to let that goat reach the boats? If it goes back, Erica's report will reach Bernkastel's ears. The Chester sisters spoke through a secret channel that only they could use. 2 seconds, Nya. Won't even be a sound, Nya. It's just about to leave Erica's sphere of awareness. Estimated 10 seconds before it reaches the goat boatman's sphere, so assassination can be carried out successfully. Lady Beatrice. Your permission to assassinate, if you please. We can do it. Erica will sense nothing. You do not have permission? Did you think an envoy will leave their ship without setting a time limit? The fleet probably has orders to attack if it isn't contacted within a certain period of time. Let that goat go. 0-0, understood.
Phew.
The goat passed through the door. Then, after receiving a silent bow from Shannon and Kanon, it got on the dinghy and returned to the fleet. The fleet will probably follow Erica's orders and stand by until an attack order was given. That gave the residents of the Golden Land a chance to assassinate Erica. But of course, that wasn't going to be possible, practically speaking. She was Bancust's greatest underling and a witch who controlled truth. Tricking her was all they could hope for. Anything else would be overconfident.
Why don't you all have a seat too? You need have no worries about us.
Without any hint that she had just been talking about assassinations, 00 stood up upright with her hands clasped behind her back. Surrender or resist until the end, the false argument resumed. Just how far and how long would they be able to trick Erica? And yes, the final fight for the Golden Land had already begun. Yeah, I wouldn't even, I don't know. I think at some point you just run out of arguments you could throw around, especially since you have to pretend.
Bella, you can count on us to handle things here. It's time for you and Angie to take this final game back.
This is one freakishly huge library, man.
I've heard that each one of those books has a tale like ours inside it.
After all, this is a world of gods.
You can tell at a glance that it's no place for scum like you to be in, right?
After passing through the barrier, the three of them had finally made it inside the City of Books. For some time they were overcome by the countless otherworldly sights before them, but they quickly remembered their original objective.
Are you listening? First off, don't get the wrong idea. You two came here to fight Byrne, but that doesn't mean walking up to her and attacking her directly, okay?
We know.
In the first place, you were only able to fight the Great Beatrice on an even footing because the game board protected you with rules that made it that way. If you leave the game board, you're more like something that'll leave a small stain on her palm when she swats you. Don't forget that, got it?
Makes sense.
This isn't the game board we're familiar with.
We didn't come here to fight. We came here to take something back with us.
Exactly. You're here to prevent the Book of the Single Truth from being exposed to the public. That's your only goal, your only fight. You'd better not be confused about that.
Bella and Angie nodded to show their understanding.
The Book of the Single Truth itself is being displayed openly in the middle of the party, so stealing that will be impossible.
We gotta be like the Phantom Thieves from Persona 5.
However, bringing in the key is gonna be a big part of the ceremony.
Which means the key must be stored in a different place.
But there's no guarantee that it'll be undefended. After that, it's all up to your luck. I hope it's good, for your sakes. Hide!
Lambda Delta pulled her head back from around the corner of a bookshelf. The others hurriedly followed suit. In the distance, they saw emerald green lights floating about and leaving trails.
Those are Baron's cat familiars. She's got them patrolling all over the place today.
Did she guess that we would come?
No, don't forget how huge this place is. Those are staff cats, out looking for idiot guests who've gotten lost, so they can be taken to the lost children area.
And that's not where we want to go at the moment.
If it looks like one's about to find us, should we take them out? I'd advise against it. Maybe if this were some other territory or game board, but this is Baron's home base. That single cat should make you as scared as being surrounded by a crowd of vicious beasts. Plus, they're cats. They've got good senses and they'll call for their friends. If they spot you, you'd better be prepared for what happens next. I'm not going to save you. Just getting you here has been troublesome enough. If I surrender, I might get off the hook with being stripped naked and thrown to the worst sort of crappy fragment for justice entry. How wonderful. I think I can sympathize with Byrne's feelings a bit now.
Lambda Delta wasn't laughing. Most likely, even this punishment she spoke of was pretty optimistic. Even though she keeps saying that she won't help anymore, she's already risking everything. Why?
Isn't it obvious?
Lambda Delta brushed her hair back and grinned.
It's because you're going to show me the perfect happy ending.
Lambda Delta hugged their heads at the same time, making their foreheads bonk together.
Well, it better show me for certain.
Yeah, we'll certainly show you a happy ending.
We'll certainly take this cat box back. Let's go. This way and swim quietly.
The three of them swam out into the darkness of the deep ocean trench that was the city of books. In that massive, vast trench of bookshelves, they vanished into the darkness almost immediately. The library defied the common sense of the human world. The city of books. The word city was no exaggeration, and it was filled with the green glowing eyes of Bancastle's countless cat familiars. Trying to count them would be almost as crazy as counting all the fish in the ocean. They formed schools that swam all over the place, on the lookout for any fools who might miraculously have managed to slip in and disturb their master's party. If Bella's group was found, the cats were reported instantly. They would probably form a pack, open their large mouth, and swallow them in a single gulp. There would be no fight. In this place, Bella's party would be swallowed like tiny fishes if they were discovered. The warships surrounding the Golden Land were well more than 100 strong. Each of them had dozens of cannons pointing at the door to the Golden Land. The goat-boats packed the decks of the ships numbered in the tens of thousands. Each one of them carried enough anti-magic toxin in their fangs to completely deny one of the game board pieces. This time they would chew apart and eat away everything. The crowd of goats unleashed their rotten breath and dangling jewelry. At that time, Erika, who wanted to avoid trouble and hoped Beata would be able to convince Lama Delta to surrender peacefully, was sitting alone, calmly enjoying the tea Renault had poured for her. Of course, even Erika wasn't planning to give them unlimited time. In her mind, she had already decided to allow them 3 yawns before stepping in while out generous. This actually isn't so bad. Getting to watch Beata try and convince everyone is they call her a coward and a loser.
Indeed, it is impressive that our short-tempered mistress has managed to become such an adult.
What's so funny?
Oh, pardon me. Are you ready for another cup? Please feel free to enjoy our collection of green teas from across the globe at your leisure.
Lambda is leading Beata's side into an all-out resistance. And she's gathering her friends? Is this a joke? The messenger cat shook its head and continued to dispassionately meow with support. Even Lambda isn't that stupid. You should know what it means to have our allies threatening you. Even as she said this, Bancastle was chewing away at her thumbnail. Despite how she looks, the kid has a lot of strange friends, and they're all idly curious, crazy monsters. Even so, to take up arms against the Senate, it was possible. She could think of many monsters among Lambda's friends who would love to see a losing side gain support and make a comeback victory. Before she realized it, the finger Bancastle was biting was covered with sweat. She could do it. She really is a moron sometimes, after all. Get me a phone, quickly! The cat laughed away, then flew back with a phone and receiver. That's something I would like to see. I'm going to call up her friends. I have to warn them not to get involved in this stupid game. Phone numbers? Why don't I have any phone numbers saved in here? Oh, right, I have no friends. Oh. How are you supposed to greet people over the phone? Does hello work? I don't think meow is the answer. I wonder where they got these pictures from. Do you know, Aaron? The golden key was being kept in a room inside the city of books. However, perhaps room wasn't a fitting word to use. It was large enough that it could probably fit 2 domed baseball stadiums in it if you tried. Even so, in this city, these were tall rooms. Floating in the center of this vast room were several sacred magic circles. Wrapped around by these magic circles was Angel's gold key. Surrounding these were countless emerald green stars, which looked like a slowly revolving planetarium. The eyes that numbered the same as the stars were all glaring in the same direction. Come on, don't look at me like that. I'm on your side, did you forget? One of the cats cat-pedaled towards Aoife, meowing that no one was allowed to enter this room. Lady Bancastle has ordered me to guard that key, so why don't you leave this to me and get lost? After looking at each other with suspicious eyes, the cats glared at Aoife again, as though saying that they hadn't heard any such order. By the way, cats have pretty soft bodies, don't they? Makes them much easier to chew. Oh god, Aoife lifted up her golden staff, and the floor and ceiling of the vast room were covered with red lines. The reaction from the cats was lightning fast. They realized instantly that this was hostile behavior. The entire emerald green constellation writhed and became a single massive deep-sea fish, which charged at Aoife with its cavernous mouth open wide. However, at the same time, the red lines on the floor and ceiling, the massive spiderweb pinched itself together and crushed the fish, twisted it, spun it around and around, and compressed it into the size of a small ball. What the hell is she doing? Then that ball-shaped thing burst open, leaving nothing left. It all happened in an instant. If only you just give up and die. Is she gonna be helping us or what? The witch hunters were holding a convention at the event hall. After all, when Umineko's diary was opened, the endless cat books would be lost, along with the countless imagined stories that had entertained them for so long. So this final convention was the time for them to air their best theories one last time. While the opening of the cat box did give them a slightly lonely feeling, they couldn't contain their excitement as intellectual rapists, not when they knew that the Rokkanjima mystery was finally going to be solved once and for all. If that box were open, a single glow would be heard. However, their jaws and fangs couldn't care less. The witch hunting guild noticed them licking their lips, wanting them to report the guts of Beatrice's cat box as soon as they could. Seated upon a solemn throne, so tall it looked like a pillar, Featherine listened in on the nonsense being spewed from the mouth of the guild nobles. The black cat wearing a cape silently appeared and whispered something into Featherine's ear.
No, that is fine. Everything is going according to my plan. You need not inform my Miku.
Everything is going according to Keikaku.
The cat bowed humbly and vanished. Featherine raised her wine glass high and laughed as she looked through it to the light of the chandelier, which was as beautiful and majestic as the moon.
This should be enough to thank you for your excellent reading, child of man. Well now, just who is weaving this tale? Am I for you, or are you for me? What do you think?
A trap? As Bella's group moved forward, darting from bookshelf to bookshelf and avoiding the eyes of the cats, they found something strange. Written with a faintly glowing red substance was a letter and an arrow. K. That's what it looked like to them. We're gonna find K from Virtue's Lost Reward if we go left.
Do you think K means key?
Those marks only appeared when we got close. This is a message aimed at us.
Is there anyone here besides us who'd be willing to help?
Didn't think we had any allies. Angie traced her red arrow with her finger. It was written with very faint, thin strings that had been tied together. It's gotta be Aoife. There was red stuff which stuck to your finger and tore away like cotton candy. Had to be.
There's someone on our side. Someone who's always been on my side. How can you be so sure?
Yeah, I get it too now. Lambda. We can trust the person who wrote this. He'll probably be able to guide us to the key safely.
Are you sure? Well, then let's go. We don't have time to be standing around. Thank you, Mom.
In the arbor, the argument over whether they should surrender or fight continued without signs of stopping. Every now and then a small fight would break out, which fortunately ended up delaying Erica's third yawn. Uh-oh, we're already at 2 yawns. I just remembered the whole scene with Klaus and the death flag and the gold and all that. That was pretty cool. However, they didn't know how long they would have to continue this fake fight. Keeping this high level of tension going was physically stressful. Yeah, no shit. The instant they tired out and the tension faded, Erica would probably demand a verdict. They had to constantly appear to be trapped and agitated. It was a battle of wariness and tension. This was their fight. Erica waited patiently. Now that she had tired of tea, she was watching Renaud perform some magic tricks and seemed to be enjoying herself considerably. Even Renaud, who was usually aloof from the war, was fighting. If Erica got bored and had a tantrum, an all-out attack would probably begin at once. He was also putting his life on the line in the fight to buy time for Bella's group. As the fiercest leader in the argument, Beata wore out the quickest. She breathed heavily and her face was so pale it seemed she might faint at any moment.
Beata, hang in there. Your body won't hold out much longer at this rate. Pretend to suddenly burst into tears and rest for a while. We'll pick up the slack. I'm still fine.
I can do this, just one more push. Let's go. So who's up next? Who wants to be beaten down first?
Oh, in that case, I, Goda, am prepared. We must fight. It would be outrageous to accept defeat without fighting. As I've said from the beginning, fighting with all we have is the only option.
Didn't you say the opposite? Hold on a second. Uh-oh. Goda, did you ruin it?